Now, Boston traditionally starts very slow.
Well, they've been a great catch-up team. And Del Harris has said he's a real key to this team. He's been there before. Parrish got back before. Look who's in the game. Calvin Murphy. There's Pulse again. Parrish. That may be offensive interference. No whistle. Here comes Archibald. Rebound, Larry Bird. Reed, during the playoff series this year, has been averaging 16.7. Bird again. It was Roby with the position and the defensive rebound. Henderson, Larry Bird in trouble. Gets it off to Roby. Rebound, Robert Reed. Coming up with it is Larry Bird. Look at him work. Command Eltar.
See, I told you.
Archibald to Bird. Larry Bird knew Reed was zero against the Boston Celtics. Bird broken up nicely by Dunleavy. Maxwell and Cedric Maxwell. Level on the drive. Level getting up slowly. Bird off to Tiny Archibald. Back to Larry Bird. They signed Maxwell, and Maxwell, who didn't score in that first half. Cedric Maxwell alone, trying to stay with him. Out to Larry Bird.
Time. Boston Celtics. Robert Parrish trying to hit his third in a row. There's Bird inside. The basket out on him. Roby not coming out of there despite the 3 fouls. Larry Bird, Calvin Garrett staying tough. Bird with a move.
Has some rest.
And right now they're running again, Bill. Henderson on the pull-up jumper.
Another rookie.
47-41. Very good point. Henderson broken up. There's Bird again. Larry Bird with the steal. Henderson back to Bird. Beautiful. There. Off to Bird. 7 seconds on the shot clock. 4. Bird. Well, why not? 7. 64-60. Henderson to Larry Bird.
What I'm going to try to do is it someone to get a break. Is it someone to get a break?
They didn't let somebody get open.
Maxwell, there's a steal attempt by Moses Malone. Bird off to Henderson, back to Bird. Game 2, the 4th period of play. Archibald off to Bird. Nice pass to Maxwell.
The rim and then knocked out by Parrish.
Tom Henderson. A stability factor on this basketball team. Intended repulsors. Larry Bird coming up with a steal.
They're good when you jump up in the air.
Another thing about him, Bill, he's 0 for 8 now from the field. If you include the last game and this one, he may have a little confidence problem right now, but this guy doesn't. Larry Bird, picked by Bird, off to Roby. 8 seconds on the shot clock. Nice pass to Maxwell. 3 shots, but he'll come back strong. Maxwell ran over level. Here is Bird. There he's on him. Here's Bird. Reed back in after Calvin Garrett did a good job, but Chris.
Second field goal for the Rockets in this quarter.
That's right. They were 1 of 10 before that. Here is Maxwell against Malone.
And that's one thing Fitch said he's going to.
Malone missed that free throw. Moses now trying to follow. Willoughby tips it off to Robert Reed. Blocked by Larry Bird. Larry Bird to Parrish. And Parrish now has really come roaring after Cedric. Back to that 16-point lead for the Celtics. Henderson. There was Bird. He was waiting on it. Archibald. Super fast break.
Larry Bird.
Well, 6 was the number he had in game 2. Bird to Maxwell. Maxwell
can't believe it. He made the shot and he just got decked. He didn't get to the free throw line.
That's through the hands of Billy Paul. Larry Bird on the move. And Larry Bird has just scored, only to bounce back in the next game. Here's Tom Janovich. Bird with a steal up to Gerald Henderson. 4.5 minutes left in this one. Bird up to Carr. ML Carr.
Now what they have to do
Because of foul difficulty. Here is Larry Bird. Chris Ford, who had 17 points in the last game, gets us the ball.
Now, one thing you have to watch for in a game like this, you have to see what kind of fouls are the referees calling in the early going. But it is. In other words, you rush the ball up and see if there are any open spots in the defense.
First period. Larry Bird. Reed playing the tough defense as usual in this series against him. Parrish has hit another one. Now, Parrish playing very well right now.
Yes, he is.
Larry Bird. And Bird.
You can put when it comes to skiing, Gary. My ancestral castles are in the tropics.
Larry Bird again. And going for him right now. A 4-point lead for the Houston Rockets.
Take all the help you can get sometime.
Can't we all? Here's Archibald. Oh, now that's the ball. Will inbounds it. 10:24 to go, third period. Larry Bird. Boy, they made that look easy. Burrowed his way up to get that one. Bird off to Henderson, back to Larry Bird. What a pass to Roby.
Has a great fast break and a great pass.
Average of 12 and a half. Henderson. Darrell Henderson has contributed again. Henderson is
Outstanding pass also from Larry Bird.
Continuation rule was in effect, and the ball is definitely coming down. It was a good call.
6 minutes remaining now in this first period. Larry Bird. Bird.
First time in his career, Murphy was suited up for a game and wasn't playing. That occurred on Sunday. Beautiful pass by Bird to Chris Ford, and Larry Henderson in 3 of these games has been in double figures for the Boston Celtics. Larry Bird still with 2 points. Robert Parrish.
And really have to control the tempo.
Bird on a power move. Out to Maxwell. To Bird. Beckman's pass. We're halfway to that mark. Dunleavy blocked by Carr. Bird to Henderson. Carr staying tough on him. To Tom Henderson. 2 big men up against him. Bird comes out with it. Less than a minute to go. First half. Carr.
Outstanding fast break.
They're not so good. His intelligence and the ability to concentrate.
Calvin Murphy has gone to the dressing room. Larry Bird now has 8 points. Excellent ball. Here's Archibald. Henderson on him. Up to Robert Parrish. Bird on a power move. You were trying to blame him for all of that. Your former teammate, Casey Jones. What do we tell him? 65-39. Chris Ford. Particular time. Not expected to play the remainder of this game. Here is Bird. Larry Bird. He's made 2 excellent points.
You hear that crowd? They're not booing, but they're asking for do-rod. They want do-rod in the game.
And now, 69. Kevin McHale off to Larry Bird. Less than 4 minutes.
Or Kansas City, when Sam Lacey went out, they didn't have anyone to guard him. In this case, they have.
In the Boston Garden, Archibald looking like he wants to shoot the ball. He has been shooting all that much. Bird is there. Larry Bird horses. Just underway in the second quarter at halftime. We'll take a look as Rick Barry will analyze the first few games of this series. After struggling in the last game, he has 2 points. He missed a couple of stuff shots Tuesday that really took his confidence away. Larry Bird
Won the few times.
Boston now 5 of 8 from the field. Houston 4 of 8. Nice pass intended for Reed, but into Larry Bird. You can hardly hear it, so loud here. Enthusiastic crowd with 3 minutes in this first half, and Bird hit a touch.
They want to win this game.
Cornbread with Moses on him. They double team him, and that leaves Bird. And Bird with a revert to Tiny Archibald. You see Maxwell filling the lane, also Ford, but they hold it up. Larry Bird. Bird is
In other situations where they had a do-or-die wind facing them.
Bird in trouble. Was able to get it out to Chris Ford, and Ford. Again, the crowd picking up the intensity here. The noise level. Larry Bird, that basket will count, and he's fouled. Here was 8th in the NBA in free throw percentage, so you don't expect him to miss very many. Backing up on Reed. Off-balance shot, but he hit it anyway. And Bird. To Larry Bird. Parrish, he's going to try to do something about it and does, and that was a big basket.
Garrett hit Larry Bird right in the face.
Garrett with his first personal foul. Larry Bird, and he's going to hit those pressure shots. And Del Harris, you can see him in the background there yelling to his team with 3:37 left. Larry Bird again. Oh, as he hits some pressure.
That's only 3. You see 4 team fouls, I believe, now.
Cedric Maxwell.
Boy, that's a
Archibald. Henderson on him. Tiny will come back out and reset. 12 seconds on the shot clock. Larry Bird wants a three-pointer. A three-point shot by Larry Bird. He's hit 3 of them down the stretch.